Move on then to our next presenter. It's Beatrice Cusmai from Italy. As a job, she is a PR and communication manager in an Italian digital communication company. She is also volunteering at AGUAF. AGUAF is an association in Varese, the north part of Italy, of children with hearing loss. She is vice president, and she is also secretary of EuroCIU and a founding member of CIICA and a mother of premature deaf twins, of which one is wearing hearing aids and the other one is wearing one cochlear implant and will receive, if I have it right, maybe next week, her second implant. So I look forward to the presentation of Beatrice on what it means, the World Hearing Report for Italy.
Thank you, Leo. Thank you to all of you. I'm really honored to be with you. And thank you, Sue and Brian, for asking me to talk to you. Next slide, please. So now that we know which are the key points of the World Report on Hearing, we could try to let a man in the street be informed of the possibility he has to restore the hearing function. And so now we have one question: how can we do it without advertising budgets? And I have some ideas that I will show to you. Next slide, please. Actually, the first thing that comes into my mind is to write a press release to have a worldwide communication. We could write a short release with 4 or 5 key messages from the World Report. But in order to have visibility on free press, there must be the news. Therefore, as COVID-related news seem to be the only interesting news published in the press nowadays, or at least it happens in Italy, we could start this press release with a connection of coded and deafness. And then if we create a template, every country could adapt it, but at least 4 or 5 key points could circulate all over the world with the same message. And the key points that Sue pointed out are really what actually I needed to write a good press release that maybe might start with: we can no longer afford to turn a deaf ear to hearing loss. Next slide, please. And this is what I did in Italy to communicate that we have a new net or international net, which is CIICA. I wrote a press release, I sent it to national and local press, and I would focus my attention to local press. That is very important to create a net and to become outstanding and to be recognized as an expert in your own town and city. Next slide, please. And I managed to come out in a lot of magazines and also newspaper. Next slide. But what I did is to use the online information to share the articles through social media such as Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc., to let the news circulate through the net of friends and make it viral. And this is very important because through social network, we can really reach different targets. Next slide, please. Then I was asked what would we do with this synopsis and with the information concerning the World Report. And then I would send this press release plus translate a leaflet to politicians to raise awareness and ask for practical actions. And I would like to share this information to have one common goal. And with all Italian association all together with the same message. And that's what I will try to do in the next weeks. Then I would like to organize conferences in clubs such as Rotary and Lions, because this way we can let information circulate outside our usual forum and associations, which are normally well aware of the importance and the benefits of cochlear implants. Then I would distribute the leaflet to general practitioners, pediatricians, and then their medical office, but also in neonatal intensive care, where a lot of premature children have problems with hearing. Next slide, please. And of course, I would place the leaflet in the website, translated in local language to be downloaded by people who can use it. So whoever needs information to do self-advocacy can download it and has it in his hands. Next slide, please. Then I would contact schools, because information is key, it's very important. So we try to reach the teacher, at least a group of them, to let them explain the key points of the WEAR report and try to inform them of the possibility to restore hearing function through cochlear implant. I will try to organize video lessons for schools focusing on the ability of cochlear implant users and not on the disability. And here you can see a picture that was taken just before the pandemic in January 2020. I organized for AGUAV a series of conferences. This was the first and last because of the pandemic, actually. And we went in schools with Professor Eliana Cristofari from Varese Hospital. And she was explaining how to prevent hearing loss and what is a cochlear implant. And let's hope we can continue in the future with these information videos. Next slide, please. Then I've got some ideas that I would like to share with you, and I would like to know what you think about these ideas. What about making city walls decorated with an image that doesn't have to be a cochlear implant, but an image that we could decide all together to send out a message, maybe also using augmented reality? And what about a coordinated image all over the world? So I imagine New York, Buenos Aires, Sydney, Rome, Cape Town, with a wall in a city, big wall with the same message. Then what about viral videos with the same message again all over the world in different languages? We actually did an experiment. I did some videos very short with a clear message, and with CIICA, we decided to make subtitles in English, and they were placed in CIICA website. And it was great because they were subtitled in a lot of languages all over the world, and all the associations, and not all, but a lot of associations used them to celebrate the Cochlear Implant Day. So these are just very simple ideas, but just a start to create a worldwide common communication. Thank you very much for your attention.
Sorry. Thank you, Beatrice, for this excellent presentation. It was really interesting to hear really what it means in daily practice. Yeah, what you can take out of the World Hearing Report and how you can use it in your country. And you give us a lot of suggestions and different ways we can use. I look forward also to Brian Lamb now, if there are questions or comments in the chat on your presentation.
Beatrice, I was just wondering, those are some amazing ideas there, and I kind of recognize some of them from some of the work you've done before. People looking at the report now and wondering how to use it, what do you think are the quickest and easiest things that people could do out of those ideas? What did you find the easiest to implement?
The easiest is to create a press release. There are clear points, really 4 or 5 points. We can decide them all together. Well, first of all, we as CIICA steering group, we could create a press release. We could send it to all association, and we could come out with the same press release. Of course, every country will integrate with information which are crucial for their own country. But this is the quickest way. And the second one, of course, is to share all this information, to make a translation of the leaflet and send it through social media. This is without budget, it's the easiest way, I think.
Yeah. And I can see a lot of people have already found those points and that really helpful. And just to say, when Sue and I did the research about advocacy and what was happening around the world that went towards CIICA, we found the most amazing array of things that people were doing. And I know that, you know, we came and talked to you, and yours was one of the kind of key examples of what can be done just by a group of committed people working on this at a very local level. And if people want to read more of those, they're in our foundation report, the research, and that's got lots of other ideas in it as well. But thank you very much, because I can see that a lot of people have already found that very helpful. And indeed, we will make sure that all the presentations are available on the website tomorrow. And I'm also about to give you the link in a second to the 2 summary reports, which are up on the CIICA website now. So Beatrice, thank you very much. And back to Leo.
Leo?
Yes,
I'm sorry, can I just make a burning comment from me that sometimes I think without an advertising budget, then you become more creative. That people are very tired of advertising being thrown at them, and that Beatrice's ideas are creative. And Beatrice, in the chat room, Terry from Mexico, Escosa, she says she sends you a big hug for all that.
The same to her, the same to her. Well, actually, I think, yes, of course, with well, I'm not talking about clear, you know, the usual advertising budget. There might be a budget allocated for Google Ads or whatever, but I think that advocacy has to be clear, and it can go, it can work. It is a sort of wave of information that let people hear the sound of life. I mean, everything has to be evidence-based, and then it goes very well, I think.
Beatrice, I'm really sorry, Leo. Beatrice, can you say that again? That has to be the wave of information, you said?
Yeah, no,
to be the sound of life.
I'm sorry.
It was lovely.
If we work with evidence-based advocacy, we can raise awareness and we can create a sort of wave of information that let the people hear the sound of life. That's one idea that came into my mind, just, you know, a wave of information through the net.
It sounds really good. Thank you, Beatrice. Thanks for your presentation, all your suggestions. Before moving on to the next speaker, I saw some questions also in the chat if the presentations will become available and the resources will come available. Yes, they are not yet on the website, I think, but tomorrow at latest they will be there. And also the presentations of today of this webinar, they will be available also to all of you.